You guys absolutely crushed the like goal on the last video, so let's take a look at Donphan Spiritomb. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to take a look at Donphan from Vivid Voltage. This card's really cool, and it synchronizes quite nicely with Spiritomb to get some big knockouts from these two Pokemon. I really like this deck. It's a really cool archetype, and I would definitely recommend it if you are looking for a combo-based kind of fun deck. It's not necessarily a top tier one, but hey, that's not what we're here for, right? We're here for having a bit of fun with some cool new cards. Thank you very much to everyone who liked our last video. That reached over 150 likes in less than 10 hours, which is absolutely insane to me. We're gonna have to boost the like target for our next like goal up to 200. So hey, if we can get to 200 on this video, you get nothing for it. You get nothing for it apart from the satisfaction of knowing that I've enjoyed myself. If we can get to 200 likes, that would be great. But apart from that, thank you very much for your support over the last few days. Let's take a look at Donphan Spiritomb. So here we go, this is the deck list, and Donphan is the card that's going to be the focus of the video today. 150 HP, Fighting type Stage 1, it's pretty bulky, and it has a 1 energy attack, Earthquake, for 120 damage, which is really strong. Anytime a Pokemon has a 1 energy attack cost that does over 100 damage, even if there is a special clause to it, which Earthquake has, then at least consider it, because you never know, you might be able to find a pretty cool combo. Now, Earthquake has what should be a pretty negative effect. It does 20 damage to all of the Pokemon on our bench, but we can combo that quite nicely with Building Spite Spiritomb, which deals damage based on the amount of damage counters on that Pokemon. So we can use Donphan to power up Spiritomb's Anguish Cry incredibly quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get a Donphan out attacking early. We're going to Earthquake. We can half hit lots of Pokemon with 120 damage. We've got Martial Arts Dojo, so if we fall behind, 160 damage, can half hit pretty much every Pokemon in the game, including all VMAX, and it can also take a one-shot, no, not a one-shot, an almost one-shot on Eternatus VMAX. I don't know why I thought I could get to 340. It can't. It can get to 320, but that's okay. Regardless, it's still a good inclusion in the deck, and every time we Earthquake, we do 20 damage to our benched Spiritombs, which means that our Anguish Cries are going to deal more damage. Now, we can also, obviously, Building Spite to power that up, but we can also play down Tape of Toughness. I did it again. Cape of Toughness. I don't know why. I can say this in real life, but I can't say it on camera. Cape of Toughness is a very strong card to attach to Spiritombs. We have 3 of them in the deck. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to has 50 HP more, which means that our Spiritomb can potentially, with 110 HP, have 100 damage counters on it, meaning that Anguish Cry can get to 310 damage. So a pretty significant number of damage on that Spiritomb. And also, if we have Martial Arts Dojo, if we've got a non-Ultra Beast Pokemon with basic fighting energy attached, even if it's not fighting, it can get to that extra hit, that extra 30 points of damage, extra 40 points of damage. So Spiritomb can actually get to 320 and 350, which is pretty, it's pretty spectacular. We'd have to be in some very specific scenarios to see that happen, and it's unlikely that we'll ever see it, but it is possible, and it's worth noting that. We also have Jynx with Ominous Posture in order to combo nicely with our Spiritomb. We can move a damage counter from one of our Pokemon onto the bench Spiritomb to try and power it up a little bit quicker. And when you think about it, in the 2 turns that it's on the field with Donphan attacking and doing that kind of stuff, we're going to Ominous Posture once when it comes down. We can potentially move a damage counter with Jynx. We can do 20 damage with our Donphan. We can Ominous Posture again. We can move another damage counter with Jynx. That's 6. So we can knock it out, or if we've got ourselves a Cape of Toughness, we can deal 6 times 3, 190, I think it is, 180 plus 10, 190 damage with our Spiritomb. Pretty strong. We've obviously got Jirachi, Dedenne, and also Oricorio for some consistency. The rest of the deck is built around getting those damage counters onto Spiritomb, get those Donphans out quickly. So we've got Pokemon Communication, Pokeballs, like Great Ball and Quick Ball, that kind of stuff. We've got Ordinary Rod to put energy and Pokemon back into the deck because we only have 3 basic Dark and 3 basic Fighting Energy. Our other 3 energy are Auroras, so it is worth noting that you've got that bit of a split there. The other thing that's really worth talking about is Spikemuth, which as a stadium synergizes again with our Spiritombs. This could potentially help us get to those really, really high damage tiers, because when we retreat our active Pokemon, we deal 2 damage to that Pokemon. It can also screw over our opponents a little bit if they can't replace this stadium and they need to move out of the active, then maybe they put 20 damage on themselves, which could potentially help us when we come to take a knockout. Beyond that, there's the list. It's a pretty strong one. What we're going to do is we're going to jump onto PTCGO's ladder now and see if we can get some games with it. I'm excited. I'm not hopeful, but I'm excited. Here we go. We've got ourselves a starting hand, and it looks like we're going to be playing against Colossal here. Let's Building Spine onto this Spiritomb. We've got a Dark Energy, which is good. We've actually got a hand where we could potentially Dedenne this turn. Let's just see if we've got the pieces. We'll attach the Dark. Let's think. I think if we play down the Cape of Toughness, we can Quick Ball away Switch. We don't really need that. We can grab ourselves another Phanpy, which seems like a decent attacker to have in this matchup. Then we can Pokemon away the Donphan, grab Dedenne, Cape of Toughness, and then play down the Spikemuth for maximum card draw. I think this is fine. Let's do this. I'm not sure whether getting rid of the Donphan is a good idea, but we need to draw cards, and I want to have a supporter. No, not the Mew. We want the Dedenne. We want to have a supporter in the hand, so that would be good if we could do that. So let's draw some cards. Fighting Energy is good. Great Ball is good. We're just going to pass here, because if we play Great Ball now, it achieves nothing. Next turn we can top deck a card and Great Ball as well, so I think it's better to do that. And our opponent is setting themselves up to have their Colossals here. Obviously, they won't be able to attack us with Colossal VMAX this turn, so they'll be trying to get that Snorlax into the active. There's a Marnie, so we get punished, but not too badly. The most disappointing thing we lose there is the Fighting Energy, to be honest. Don't really like that too much, but it's okay. We can live with it. We find the Donphan there and not the Fighting Energy, so we would have found the Donphan with the Great Ball. In fact, we might have even top-decked it. And this is good, because it means that if they do switch into Snorlax, which they want to do, they're not going to, but that would have been good for us regardless. We've got Donphan here, so let's play that down. I'm going to Quick Ball away a Marnie and play down another Spiritomb, because this way I can get some more damage counters in the field of play if I find a Fighting Energy. You just need to find an energy, but we don't. Okay. That's no good. In that case, we're just Building Spite a couple of times, and then I think we pass. But this is an unfortunate position to be in. To be fair, though, I don't think that our opponent is going to be able to knock a Donphan out this turn. The worst part about it is that we don't get to get the Oranguru out of play. We instead allow our opponent to potentially get energies accelerated to their Colossal VMAX, which is quite annoying. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. They're going to switch here, so they'll take some damage with that Spikemuth, but it's not necessarily relevant. They're going to go into Snorlax, actually. Play down the Dojo, and we'll probably see a Gorman dies here, which isn't too bad. Primate Wisdom first. Let's see. What are they going to do? They're going to tag Call. So, are they going to grab cards here? I presume so. Double Mallow and Lana seems reasonable. And then they'll probably Gorman dies. We don't have a Marnie, so we can't remove them. We might just need to research the hand away, and that's a little bit annoying, because it'll mean that we aren't going to be able to as easily get knockouts on this this here Colossal. We can, however, attach another Cape of Toughness to Spiritomb. We can Building Spite a couple of times. It's awkward because we could potentially attach the Dark, but I don't like that. I would rather take the knockout with Donphan if we can. We actually find ourselves a really, really strong setup here. We've got Spiritomb again, so we get a third one. We can attach the Aurora Energy, not the greatest attachment, but it's acceptable. Discard the Jirachi, and now we'll be able to Earthquake, which will not only knock out the Snorlax thanks to weakness, but will also deal 20 damage to all 3 of our Spiritombs. So that energy is actually really, really good. So we're in a decent spot here. Unfortunately, they have a handful of cards and a Oranguru, and that Wonder Lab is super annoying. We have an Aurora Energy, so we can attach it to our active Donphan if we want to. But that doesn't seem ideal. I would much rather not do that, to be honest. I would much rather not do that. Buff padding coming down onto the Colossal. They're going to attach another Stone Energy and then Eruption Shot. They just went for it there, so not guaranteeing it. They hit us for 40. I think we're going to attach the Aurora Energy to Donphan and then Earthquake. But let's quickly see if we can find anything off of this Great Ball. We can't. If we had found like an... oh no, Oricorio wouldn't have even done anything for us. I think this is the fine play because they're going to want to do stuff. We will Anguish Cry. We'll do it on the 2 that have the cape. We won't do it on the... Hang on a minute, did they Eruption Shot last turn through the Wonder Lab? No, they had 2 energy on it. They did have 2 energy on it, that's why they attached instead of guaranteeing the extra damage. Right, I'm following along, I understand what's going on. Our Earthquake only deals 80 damage to this Colossal, but that's okay. They didn't have the energy last time. There's no guarantee they're going to have it this time. And if they do potentially find themselves in a situation where they have to replace the stadium for whatever reason, we can potentially get a knockout with Spiritomb, because we'll be dealing 9 times 3, 270, 280 damage. 280 plus 80 is 360. Minus 40 is 320. Okay, so we can't knock it out. They've actually removed the stadium for us, which I don't mind. Do they have like 3 Mallow and Lanas in their hand right now? They could potentially play one and then go into Snorlax here, where we'd be able to get ourselves a knockout on that. They're not going to. They're going to Cynthia Caitlin, which is fair enough. Grabbing Guz Mahala out of the deck. 3 more cards. Will they go for the knockout, or will they do something else? I've got too many energies attached. This has got 4 Malawalanas in it. I'm never winning this game. This Colossal has 4 Malawalanas. I'm never going to be able to deal enough damage to this thing. We're going to need to go in with Spiritomb. We're going to need to attack with Spiritomb and put on pressure, right? That's what we have to do. And then hope that we can top deck an energy or a supporter. That's pretty much all that we can do. Quick Ball is coming from our opponent. Grabbing another Colossal V. That's an interesting choice. Eruption Shot does not find an energy. Okay. That's very interesting. And we've got Double Boss. Let's think. If we're building Spite here, we've got 9. We can switch into the Spiritomb, do 280 damage, 240 damage. I think the best play is to switch into this Spiritomb and hit this Colossal. Because, yeah, we need to take a knockout on this Colossal VMAX. I'm just trying to decide. I don't know if whether we can get a knockout with Earthquake or not. I don't know if we can, but we have to put the pressure on because there's going to be a Mallow and Lana next turn, and we can't afford to fall further behind. Right, they're going to Mallow and Lana go into Lily's, Pokédoll, retreat, discard, and then go into the Eruption Shot and knock out the Spiritomb, so we have to be able to respond to it. Unfortunately, Donphan's not going to be able to do the job. We're going to need to find something to get the knockout. Hopefully it's an energy. It's either an energy or a supporter or an Oricorio. Those are the 3 cards we are looking for. And if we find those 3 cards, then we will be okay. If we don't find those 3 cards, we will not be okay. We will be sad. Here comes another VMAX, so they might be setting up the second one here. Here's the Mallow and Lana, so they're going to go into the Lily's Pokédoll, you would presume. We've got a handful of Mallow and Lanas, though, so they might have to get rid of one of those. They do get rid of a Mallow and Lana. I feel like the last 2... Oh, they get rid of Snorlax. Okay. 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 Well, that means we can just gust out this Colossal and knock it out. That seems like a really bad play from our opponent. Alright, this is fine. We've got a Donphan, we can chuck that down, I suppose. Probably should have held it, actually, but gusting out the Colossal seems good. Let's Building Spite. And we won't on the bench one because we don't have to, but we can on the active. I think it's worth doing. We're now dealing a ton of damage. 310 minus 40, 270 damage takes a knockout on the VMAX. And we take 3 prizes, and suddenly this game has just become a lot more winnable. Yeah, there's the concession. Well, we snuck out with that one. That's very impressive. Let's go into another one. We've got a much weaker start here. We'll see what we can do. It looks like our opponent is going to play ADP Zacian. It's a very innovative and original list that our opponent is playing. They're probably going to try and do something crazy, like set up a GX attack, then take knockouts with Zacian. So that seems like a pretty good one. Intrepid Sword gets an energy, and that's pretty much all that they need to do. Here's after the attachment. Although, you know, that top deck of the Jirachi is pretty good. We can retreat this Jynx into the Jirachi and go from there. Stellar Wish, try and find something. This research is pretty good. The good thing for us here is that their ADP doesn't have an energy on it. So let's quick ball, get rid of the boss, grab ourselves a Spiritomb. We can play that down. We can play down Cape of Toughness. We can play down Spikemuth, and then building Spike. We probably don't scoop up net here, actually. We probably just research, because we don't want to move the Jirachi out of the active. There's no reason to do that. And, even better, we find ourselves a quick ball, which we can use to grab Phanpy, put that into play, attach a fighting energy to it, and then pass. That seems like a pretty solid turn against an ADP deck that's not really doing too much at the moment. Now, if we do not get GX attacked this turn, I think we can win. Crushing Hammer's annoying. I don't like this. I don't like people playing ADP with Crushing Hammer. Are you kidding me? A second Crushing Hammer. It's like, oh, my deck's already really heavily reliant on getting some luck, so I'm gonna just play Crushing Hammer in ADP and just go from there. I'm sorry, Anson CKY0628. You seem like a nice guy. Like, I respect you as a person, but please don't... Oh, he didn't get the GX attack off. We could win. Okay. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Let's Great Ball. No Pokemon. Okay, no worries. We've got another one anyway. Let's Great Ball. Oh my god. Dedenne, here we go. Let's go. We've got to get ourselves a Phanpy attack here. We've got a Donphan. We don't have an energy, though. Pokemon, we can get rid of the Phanpy. We can get a Spiritomb. That seems fine. We can play that down. We can building Spike. We need to find energy off of this research here. We're going to quick ball away the boss and then thin out a card, probably the Mew, I'd say. Mew isn't there. We'll grab a Phanpy and get rid of that. Let's research. We need an energy, and Switch can come off a Stellar Wish. We find Aurora, excellent news, so we can attach that. Let's Stellar Wish, see what we can find. Dojo, we have the Scoop Up Net in hand, so it's not a big deal. We can play down the Aurora onto Donphan. We'll get rid of, I don't know, yeah, the Great Catcher seems fine. We can scoop up the Jirachi, then we can go in with the Earthquake, which will set up a bunch of damage for our Spiritombs, and most importantly, it now puts our opponent behind if they do GX this turn, because we'll be able to knock them out with the Spiritomb on the bench. We've got ourselves a Dark Energy, and we've got a boss or a research to be able to take a knockout. Marnie is bad. Marnie is pretty bad here. I don't like that at all. That is disappointing. Now I need Switch and Energy. We have neither of those. We have 2 Donphans though. Is there a way we knock out this ADP without using... I don't think so. Switch. That's really good. Let's Building Spite. That's 5. So 5 times 3 is 150 plus 10 is 160. So now all we need is an energy because we found the switch. So we can switch the Donphan into the active. We get an extra couple of damage counters as well. Let's find an energy. Darkness energy. Here we go. We've got it. Alright, cool. So, this is really, really big, because now we've got a knockout on the active. Do we move an energy damage counter to the active Spiritomb to potentially try and take knockouts on Zacian's next turn? Probably. We'll be dealing 190 if we do that. We're dealing 160 now. 160 is a guaranteed knockout. No, let's do it, because 190 gives us an opportunity to get closer to that 220 number. Not 230, 220. We've got 3 prizes here. Now next turn we can use our ability to power up our Spiritomb, take a knockout on Zacian next turn if we have to. Since we have the Jynx, we can also get that same thing happening on Spiritomb on the bench if we can find ourselves another Cape Aru. But yeah, there's the gamble here is moving the energy onto the Spiritomb means we might potentially find ourselves behind a little bit. Maybe. It's kind of a weird one. They concede. We beat ADP, guys. We beat them. I don't know how that happened. Alrighty, into our last one. And, ooh, could this be something like Mewtwo and PikaRom? Potentially. Potentially. Which means we might be able to play a little bit here. Getting a Dedenne off of that. Oh, my goodness. And a Quick Ball. Okay, so this hand's gone from bad to really good. We can Quick Ball, grab ourselves a Phanpy here. We can play that down. We can attach an Aurora Energy to the Phanpy, discarding the Scoop Up Net. We can Pokecom away the Donphan, grab ourselves a Spiritomb, and then attach the Cape of Toughness and Dedenne. And that's turning a terrible hand, a really bad start, into something workable, which is good. It's a fantastic time. We've got Building Spike to use. We've got a hand that's moderately acceptable. We've got an Aurora Energy, which we can attach to Spiritomb next turn, but there's nothing else really for us to do here. So we can just pass and leave it to our opponent, and we're playing up against a PikaRom deck, or at least something similar. Bolton V has obviously seen play in PikaRom, and Lightning Mewtwo, which has won quite a few events recently. Marnie. So that's not too bad for us, because we've got a kind of average hand. As long as we find something, we should be okay. We need a supporter, though. To be fair, we're only likely to draw... There's not many supporters that we could hope to draw into. We've got one. Okay. So it's all coming up Millhouse. If we get a chance to knock out this Bolton next turn with a Donphan, that would be fantastic. And that would set us up to win this game. And this is the type of matchup that this deck does really, really well against, because obviously when you're dealing 120 to Pokemon, that's pretty good. But when you're dealing 240 damage to Pokemon with Phanpy and Donphan, then you're doing a pretty good job. So I'm excited. Great Ball finds Donphan here. We are in the clear. If it doesn't, you know, it doesn't, and we have to do something else. The worst part, though, it looks like this is going to be a Mewtwo variant, because the Aurora Energy is a potential... well, that's the kind of card that Aurora... what am I talking about? I'm just so tired. I can't even... Aurora Energy means that we're probably playing against Mewtwo, which means they're not going to play down their Lightning-type tag teams. So we won't see PikaRom or Raichu in this game. We will probably see a Mewtwo off of this Quick Ball. But that's okay, because we can still get knockouts with Bolton and Dedenne on the bench with our Phanpy, turning it into a Donphan, and then we can knock that out with Spiritombs afterwards. So that's fine. They're going to Electrify. We've got the Dark Energy. We've got the Great Ball. We've got the Research. All we need to do is find Donphan and Switch. Donphan and Switch makes us have a good time. And a Spiritomb off the top as well. Let's go. Quick Ball. Jirachi. That's okay. It's going to be fine. Let's attach... Oh, we can play the Jirachi down even. That's probably not a bad idea. Let's attach to the Oricorio, because it guarantees us the Switch, then we can Research. We need Donphan. We don't find Donphan. And we get the Switch, which is annoying. We could have gone in with a Spiritomb and attacked with that. It's not too big of a deal, though, to be honest, because we wouldn't have dealt too much damage. Donphan? Let's just grab a Phanpy, because we've got the Fighting Energy in hand. If they gust it out, maybe they identify it as a threat, we can potentially get a second one going. This is not ideal, though. We'll play the Spikemuth. We're going to leave the Oricorio in the active, I think, because I think if we're playing against Lightning Mewtwo, then the best attack that they can use deals 160 damage, which is Raichu. They could potentially get the... They're going to remove that, that's fine. They could potentially get the Volplume attack off. Money. No! They get a Volplume attack off, but they need an Aurora Energy to do that. We're gonna get nothing. No! Oh, no. We're gonna switch at least, that's fine. We might be like, scoop up the Phanpy into Jirachi, hope for a supporter. That might be our go here. Emag Radar from our opponent's probably going to grab like PikaRom and... oh, there's the Volplume, so they do have it. They find the Aurora Energy. They will knock out the Oricorio, which is not a great thing, but it's not a bad thing either. If they knock out the Oricorio, then we can just switch into a Jirachi and go from there. If they don't knock out the Oricorio, then we can potentially force them to knock out a Jirachi in the active, which gives us access to Dance of the Ancients. It's an awkward situation, this, to say the very least. What are we going to see from them? What are we going to see? Dedenne and Jirachi. So, Lightning Ride and Tandem Shock will both be online after this Dedenne is played. They would need another energy on the Mewtwo, but they are likely to get it. They've also got Tapu Koko, so the worst thing that can happen is that they just pop that. 2 switches going, that's a big deal. Oh, we just don't want them to find that Aurora energy. If they find the Aurora, then they're going to be able to get that Volplume attack off. But we've already seen them use 2, so I don't know how many they're playing. Could potentially be playing a couple more. Now, here, whilst we're talking about good decks, because the deck we're playing against for the moment is a very good one. It's a lightning energy that they have. So they're not going to knock us out with Volplume. They're going to use Raichu's attack here to try and paralyze us. I think Tandem Shock, here it is. Yes, okay. Whilst I'm talking, is the next video that you want to see, do you want to see a, let's do the Jirachi play I was talking about. Do you want to see a meta deck, or do you want to see another fun deck? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Oh, Jirachi, no! Oh, boy. Well, at least that shuffled the deck, I guess. Let's Building Spite. This is a matchup that we should just be able to win. That's okay. It's fine. They're going to knock out the Jirachi. We're going to draw cards with Oricorio. It's going to be A-okay. It's going to be A-okay. All we need to do in that case is we need to find... well, we need to get something going here. Really, we need to do something. We're at the point now where we need to do something. Energy onto Bolton. Oh, boss's orders. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We leave the Jirachi. That means they're going to knock out the Oricorio. Man. There could have been an argument there for knocking out Phanpy, but I can see why you'd want to knock out the Oricorio. Alright, so they're going to knock us out. What do we need to do to win this game? We need to knock out either the Mewtwo or a benched Pokemon, like, right now. Let's try and find a research if we can. Great Catcher seems pretty good. We can play that. Bring out a Dedenne. That seems fine. Can play this, grab the Dedenne, force them to switch. Can we find a research? We find a Marnie. This is okay, this is okay. All we need to do is find Donphan, switch. Donphan switch off of this Marnie. We get a knockout and we damage our Spiritombs enough to potentially give us a chance to win. So let's play down the Phanpy and then Marnie. Switch Pokecom. Alright, cool. So we do have access to our attack, which is really good. There's only one Donphan in here. That's why we couldn't find them. Jeez. Well, that Phanpy is a bad bench now, isn't it? Let's switch into the Donphan. We've got Spikemuth and Martial Arts Dojo. I'll just get rid of Spikemuth. It'll probably be replaced by another Chaotic Swell anyway. Then we can Earthquake, take a knockout. We're likely to get a Donphan here, actually, but I would prefer literally anything else. Switch is good. And Spiritomb is good. Okay. Well, we know what we're going to have to attack with next turn, at least. We aren't going to be able to attack with Donphan. So if they knock this Donphan out, which they can guaranteed, because they can retreat into the Mewtwo and knock it out using the Raichu's Tandem Shock, then we can't realistically expect to take a knockout with anything other than Spiritomb this turn, but we're going to be dealing 210, so we can potentially knock out the Boltons. We've got options, guys. We've got options to win this game, but it's going to be a little bit harder than it needed to be. If we had have just had... well, I mean, we obviously only have access to one Donphan, so if we had have had access to maybe one more... there's the Chaotic Swell. If we had access to one more, then we might have been able to get an attack off earlier, which would have meant that we were dealing more pressure. So, it's, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They're going to Crobat for 5. That Mewtwo has a lot of energy on it. Are they going for like an SBDO play or something silly? That would be cripplingly bad. I would genuinely hate that. I'll leave this video in if he SBDOs. But I will react very poorly. What's he gonna do here? Is he just gonna Bolt Storm and knock me out with Bolt Storm? Is that the type of guy you are? Smallmouth Lee? I just looked at his name. Smallmouth Lee, are you the type of person that's gonna Bolt Storm me? Will you Bolt Storm me, Smallmouth Lee? Bolt Storm me, Smallmouth Lee. There's a tongue twister. Say that 10 times twice. Say that 10 times twice. 10 times fast. Boss's orders. They're gonna knock out the Dedenne. All right. Okay. Maybe they are going for an SBDO play next turn. Do they have it? Do they have Espeon Deoxys? Is that a card that these decks play? It must be, because that's the type of gameplay we're going for here. It's not in the discard pile, so they either have it or they don't. But they're gonna Bolt Storm and they're gonna leave the Boltund in the active, which means that we can Jirachi. We still need an energy, but we have Donphan. We still need an energy for Spiritomb, I should say, but we have Donphan. Oh my goodness! Somebody stop me, please. Okay, let's get rid of the Martial Arts Dojo. We will Stellar Wish. Oh, grab that Research. That seems pretty good. Alright, at this stage we don't need another Spiritomb, I don't think. We can Aurora Energy attached to the Spiritomb that has the least amount of energy on it, of damage on it, just in case. Then we can switch into the Donphan and then Research. Okay, so we're at a point now in our lives where if they have, like, Tool Scrapper, the game's over. If they have Espeon Deoxys, the game is over. But if they have neither of those, then we're going to win. Because we are so very close. There's Donphan and Boss. That's good. Well played, says Smallmouth Lee. He must have SPD or Tool Scrapper. Yeah, we were close. We were close in this game. We really, if we had have attacked rather than passing on that turn, then we're getting stamped. That sucks. If we had attacked instead of getting stamped, then we would have been fine. So this is going to be for SBDO here. They're going to discard it, and then they're going to use the GX attack, even if it's only for its base effect, to get 2 knockouts. That's not an SBDO. That's an Ganondorf. Have you made a mistake, sir? Do you just have it in hand generally? It's not in the discard pile, sir. Are you trying to PikaRom? Are you trying to zippity zap me with PikaRom? Okay, we'll just do that, I guess. That's not the right GX attack. Okay, well I was completely misreading that because obviously PikaRom is in the deck and he should have just won. And he didn't. That was nice of him. Huh. Boop. We shouldn't have won. I'm so confused about what just happened there. That has to have been a misclick, obviously. Like, I mean, I can't believe I missed the tag bolt. That was obviously the GX attack that they should have been using. I was like, oh, maybe they use SBD. They use SBD. No, they just knocked me out with PikaRom. But they didn't for some reason. I'm gonna leave that game in, even though I should have lost, because I should have won, I guess. There was that turn where I didn't attack. If I had done that, then it would have been a very different game. But regardless, the deck seems to work okay. It's not like a top-tier archetype. It's definitely something worth mucking around with. I really appreciate you coming past and checking this one out. It's a fun deck for sure. Donphan is a cool card, and I would recommend giving it a crack if you have the chance. Thank you very much to everyone who liked our video on the last... Well, I liked the video yesterday. What was it? I can't even remember what it was. It's been so long ago now. And if you want to see more, then please consider subscribing and liking videos in the future. Let me know down below, by the way, whether you want some strong stuff or fun stuff. And yeah, I'm just gonna go and ponder that last game for a bit because that was a bit weird. Bye.